Why is everyone obsessed with goth girls right now? Look at this.
And my FYP page is just all Rhea Ripley.
I don't know who that is.
She's a wrestler. She's like my muse, but
Is she?
yeah, but she's
what?
I'm the opposite of probably everything that she likes and like.
Why is Drake, who isn't goth, who doesn't date goth women to our knowledge, we know as well as we know, we don't see him with goth women, why is he so interested in a goth woman so much to where he's not only just attracted or interested to her, she's his muse, as he said. That's all that's on his explore page. So why is it that today so many men who are not alternative whatsoever have such a infatuation, have such a fetishization of so many goth women from today? It's not just Drake. We see that a lot with a lot of different men from today who aren't alternative. And I use fetishize specifically because a lot of men are attracted to goth women, but they don't really like goth women. There's a difference between an attraction and a fetish. An attraction is when you have an actual interest in a person, but a fetish is when you like somebody specifically because of their aesthetic and their style, and the idea that you have specifically behind that style or that aesthetic. So unless Drake wifes a goth woman, I really do believe that he just kind of has more or less of a kink, a strong kink for goth women, and he wouldn't really wife a goth woman. I don't believe so. And you can't just get a goth girlfriend, you gotta get a goth wife, or it doesn't even fucking count. It's still just a fetish, just a more committed long form fetish to where you can live out your fetish fantasies for a long form period of time. Because it's easy to get a goth girlfriend that could be short term, but when you actually get a goth wife, then it's serious, then you know that you're actually locked in. But most of these guys probably wouldn't be able to hang. Like, I don't think Drake would be able to hang with a true goth female such as Rhea Ripley. Real goth women have real goth shit and do real goth shit, like have taxidermies and bones and will take you to the cemetery. And a lot of y'all men may want a goth girl, but you might not be able to handle goth girl shit. Just like that song, She Too Goth For Me. She too goth for me. Yeah, she too goth for me. But yeah, Rhea Ripley does real goth shit. Like, she's on a documentary saying how she has all the taxidermies and shit. Like, I don't know if Drake would be able to handle that type of shit.
I love like taxidermy stuff, so I have a two-headed duck, I have an octopus, bat. This is like a shrunken head. Like, I love creepy artwork and dark colors.
That's why it don't count as much if it's just a goth girlfriend. You have to have a goth wife and embrace her goth wife shit. Shout out my beautiful goth wife, Ashley. She's my love, and we have a YouTube channel together where we do goth shit together as a couple. But it's still interesting as to why would a lot of men who are not goth whatsoever or really have been with goth women really fetishize goth women so much. I feel like for a lot of young men, especially my age, a lot of different forms of media have really shaped a lot of that perspective of fetishizing goth women. I feel like a lot of TV shows and movies have shaped a lot of young men's minds to perceive a lot of women who wear dark clothes and are very brash and aggressive as like women that you are kind of scared of, but as well like attracted to for some reason. You're attracted to their domineering ways and just like different things that are where people could dress in more darker clothes that can be identified as goth, like dominatrix wear shit that's like you could that look fucking goth. Even fucking Rhea Ripley herself plays on that and like talks about that, and that's why she calls herself like mommy and shit like that. So that's very prevalent within this, which is odd, which even makes it even more odd to be honest, because it's like a lot of kind of normal men, I don't want to judge just non-goth, non-alternative. Alternative is the alternative to the norm, so it's kind of like it is kind of norm. So getting outside of that conformity, getting outside of that normal presence was seen as like weird and seen as something to hate on and dismiss. Like, people get bullied for this shit every single day for looking like that, and way heavier before, but now a lot of more people fetishize it, kind of accept it, but I feel like a lot more before you get bullied as fuck for doing shit like that. So it is weird how it flipped to like quote unquote weird girls, the quote unquote scary outsider outcast sit in the back of class and like fucking bully and like shit on a little bit, like you're now looking at that as a fetishization, which is not good, because like fetishization, that's like an object essentially. That's not even looking at a person for their character and who they are. You're just looking at them for their aesthetic, which is fucked up, man. Even in a lot of porn, there's a lot of like fetishization of like goth women and like more scary, attractive. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know though. But yes, I've heard that they fetishize a lot of goth women on those sites as well. That shapes a lot of the young male mind to thinking and looking at that as only like as a sexual way. And I feel like it's only when they find them attractive, because only when they find them attractive do they sexualize them and fetishize them. But if they're a goth person that they think is like actually weird, like is not just like looking the part, but is actually like a cool person, if they're an actual like weird goth person, like most of goths are, then like they're just gonna be like this fucking weirdo, this fucking whatever. But if they find them attractive, it's like, okay, they're weird, but I would smash. That's essentially kind of what it is. Drake's muse being Rhea Ripley is like my muse being Sexy Red, and having my Instagram feed be all Sexy Red. But there's values underneath the goth movement. It's not just clothes, it's not just an aesthetic. There's values and movements and music and culture that really goes deep. So that's where it becomes like weird, when no actual kind of interest to know anything about goth culture or goth music or values or anything like that. It's kind of more as though just like looking at the aesthetic and just really taking that for that alone. A lot of men with a scary goth girl, but don't want to know the depth and the spookiness of the scary goth girl. They're gonna run for the hills when the taxidermies come out, I'll tell you that. If you're drawn to goth women, that's perfectly fine. Don't just go after her just because of the aesthetic and have no kind of interest in her interests or the goth interest or anything like that. Most goths don't like that, because that's where these looked at as poser. Today, fetishizing goth aesthetic is more prevalent than ever, so therefore it's more looked for than ever. But actually embrace the culture. Embrace yourself in the cultures that you are attracted to, because you don't want to just fetishize goth women and just treat them like objects that you just have a fantasy about that's crafted from everything that you've seen in media for the last your entire life. It's imperative to treat alternative and goth women with respect and actually care about their interests, and not just look at them as sex objects. Like actually look at them as people. Embrace the darkness, or you're gonna be in a hell of an awakening when you go to the goth girl house and you see a motherfucking stuffed animal. And I know I'm talking about the ones you get in the crane machine. I'm talking about taxidermy. And that's just the start of it. That's just the beginning. So if you're attracted to goth women and you don't know shit about goth women, learn some shit. Get a part of the culture. Don't be a fetishizer. It's never too late to learn. If you're not looking for a goth wife, don't even go for a goth girl. Because there's goth men out there who are going to treat her with the respect that she deserves. And actually go to the cemetery with her. And actually go to the Twin Tribes concert with her. Will you? Goth women have depth. Take interest in their depth. Or no goth women for you. Subscribe if you want to see more shit like this.